Hello everybody, this is King Scribe and thank you for watching one of my YouTube videos. Just let me slurp some Coca-Cola just to prove I'm not racist. Now I want to talk about J.K. Rowling because she has struck my attention recently, and for many reasons. People say that she isn't a good writer, and I somewhat agree, but I can tell that she has a fantastic ability to create stories. She's a good storyteller. She isn't so much a writer, which is something I've heard amazing authors who, wrote Lord of the Rings and stuff like that. They say, there's some people who can't write well, but they're very good storytellers. And J.K. Rowling tends to be along those lines. But when I'm looking at her behaviour online, and I have to admit, I'm talking hypocritically here because even I can be somewhat of a dick online too. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I'm not. But this person has allegedly higher morals than the rest of us, and I don't dislike her. I think she's done a fantastic job with the Harry Potter series. I'm not so keen on her other stuff, but other than that, Harry Potter has worked out very well for her, and I did enjoy watching the movies, and I was one of the people who bought some of the books because I found them fascinating. So I'm not going to pretend, even though I don't like what she's doing online, that she is some kind of shit author. She obviously isn't, but she isn't as good as Tolkien or somebody like that. I mean, they're grandmaster authors, they know what they're doing. But at the moment, I'm looking at a Facebook page, and you can actually see this because I'm doing the cam studio thing, so I'm recording it as I'm actually talking about it. And I always find Twitter to be one of the most fantastic places on the internet at the moment. I mean, Facebook is okay, I like Facebook, but Twitter's where all the action is, where all the fallout seems to happen, because that's where the action happens between celebrities. And I love it when they have scraps. But J.K. Rowling has been involved in a number of controversies recently. One with Piers Morgan, who, to be honest with you, he was talking about the problems with immigration and stuff like that, and indeed there are problems with immigration, and I'm one of them who would actually support him on that, because I do believe that we have to be very careful with whom we let into our country, and more importantly how we can actually integrate them into the society, because somewhere like the UK isn't a very big place, and America has a big place, but the economy is not going to withstand huge numbers of immigrants, and it's not really fair that masses of immigrants move from one area to another to overpopulate that land, which is what's going to happen when they've got their own land, which just needs to be cleaned up a little bit, and they learn how to do businesses, etc., because I think that's more important. But J.K. Rowling got into a bit of a fight with him. I'm scrolling through the Harry Potter stuff at the moment, because I understand that she likes to talk about that a lot, because that's where her success came from. But here's one thing before I go into Piers Morgan and the fact that she was offered 100 people to come down from different immigrants to come down, refugees from Syria, whatnot, to house them in her own house. She didn't answer to that. She completely refused to answer. But before we do that, I want to look at some of the things she talks about. She's the left, but I feel that she's not really on the left side of politics. I think a lot of people who claim to be on the left are actually somewhat on the right nowadays. I don't believe the left-right paradigm. In fact, I don't believe that our politics are based on left and right, because if you're not completely on the left, you must be on the right, and that's not always true. We all tend to have different political beliefs, and it's more three-dimensional rather than, you know, one-dimensional, which would be, you know, left or right. There's also central as well. So the things that she says tends to be along the lines of fascism, which is what I feel when I read her stuff. If you don't agree with what she says, that means you're a fascist. It also means, you know, you should be told to fuck off, like she was laughing about with Piers Morgan. But she was one of these people who refused to accept the Brexit vote. She's one of these people who hate Trump, even though, let's admit it, how many people has Trump killed so far? I don't think it's anywhere near the amount that Obama did. I don't think it's near the amount that Hitler did, although she likes to accuse him of being Hitler. And, you know, I'm trying to find, there's so much that's been posted on a Twitter page recently, it's unbelievable. But here she goes, she's retweeting somebody who is being called anti-Semitic and racist and whatnot, and he's probably not. He's probably just somebody who doesn't want to allow a huge amount of immigrants into his country, and that's absolutely fine. Let's see how far we can go on here. Well, liberals are wrong about Trump. Should we have a quick look on that and see what that is about? So, when the computer's actually ready. Why are liberals wrong about Trump? Why are liberals completely overreacting to Trump's unique style of governing? They're not. He's a fucking psychopath. Yeah, I understand jokes and I accept them. I accept them as jokes. But she is obviously, you know, supporting this kind of narrative where they're calling Trump Hitler, etc. And he's not done anything wrong yet. I think to completely underestimate what Hitler was actually about and people like Stalin and compare him to them is completely unfair. And she must know that, because she wrote about things like, you know, Rita Skeeter, whatever her name was in the Harry Potter series, where they actually lie. She must know this. She can't be this dumb. The way she's acting online, she cannot be this fucking stupid. Now, listen, here's another thing. Up until an hour ago, the scariest thing I ever watched was Psycho, Trump Presser. What she's basically saying there is that, you know, Trump is the worst thing she's ever fucking seen. Why? J.K. Rowling, can you actually prove why Trump is worse than Hitler? The worst thing you've ever seen, the worst thing you've ever known in history. How is he worse than them? He's not really gone to war with anybody yet. And as far as I'm concerned, even though he has mentioned something about building an army up, it doesn't necessarily mean he wants to start invading every single country. He's not really become like that yet. So I'm saying yet, but I haven't seen any evidence of him doing anything wrong. Even though people claim that he's, you know, doing things wrong, I've not seen any evidence where it's so serious we can compare it to the Holocaust. I can't see it. I'm afraid that just seems fucking stupid to me. We can carry on now. Oh, here she is, virtual signaling, you know, talking about the wars, etc., in Syria, etc. But, you know, she's very fine in, you know, talking about allowing refugees in and complaining about why they exist, etc. But she's totally okay with them invading other countries when it's somebody like Obama, when it's somebody like George Bush. But hell, if it's somebody like Trump who's not actually gone to war yet, oh my god, he's worse than them. You know, he's worse than them. He's totally fucking evil. I can't believe she actually thinks this. Unexplained. She's retweeting something here. There are good Christians and bad Christians, good Muslims and bad Muslims, people who live without religion and ethnical and are non-ethical. Bill Gates, Joseph Stalin, you got Malcolm X and Osama bin Laden and Martin Luther King and Adolf Hitler. I agree the ones on the right are bad, and I would also agree some of those on the left are also just equally as scum in a different way. Although I wouldn't say that Bill Gates is as bad as Joseph Stalin or Malcolm X as bad as Osama bin Laden and Adolf Hitler. No, no, no. But, Malcolm X was quite an interesting character. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe he was as good as what most people make him out to be. He would have gone to war with whites if, today. He would have supported that completely. Bill Gates is so keen on reducing the world's population. Now, don't forget that. So they don't have the power to start wars, etc., but they are totally in favour in poisoning the water supplies, etc., and they're turning as many people autistic because, all these vaccines, which he completely fucking supports. So I wouldn't exactly say all these are good. Martin Luther King's a different kettle of fish. Of course, he is a good guy. Your beliefs make you good or a bad person. The other thing I like to talk about here is it's the narrative. It's the narrative that she wants to support people to come in. So she keeps on sharing and retweeting these propaganda pieces, which are intended to change the consciousness of a human being. So what happens is when they see this, they start thinking, no, not all Muslims are bad, and of course they're not. So they think, oh, we should let them all in. And she keeps on retweeting propaganda pieces like this, where when it all adds up to something, people start believing in bad things, where they become too politically correct, which is a very dangerous thing for our country. It's a very dangerous thing for any country, actually. Okay, virtual signaling, Trump handshake. Yeah, I remember that. Nice one, Trump. I like some of the piss takes of Trump, but I'm not against the guy, Communications interception by allies has Europe knowing more of what happened in the White House than Congress knows. Sorry, my screen was flickering a bit there. So communications intercepted by allies has Europe know more what happening in the White House than Congress knows. This is the thing. What I want to say something here, right? She's retweeting and she talks about the Russians, etc. And she was talking about how Hillary Clinton was a better candidate because, she was nice and all this and she was a feminist and whatnot. J.K. Rowling, can I just ask you a question here? Right. This is very serious because what are you suggesting we do about Russian spies? What do you want to do about them? Do you want to bomb Russia? Because, Russia's not going to give them up. If Russia is hacking networks, it's up to America to actually secure them. And what I find very interesting, and about this particular post, it says communications intercepted by allies has Europe know more what happened in the White House than Congress knows. That's interesting, isn't it? That means Europe was hacking the US servers. Think about it. Should we invade Europe then? They're all fucking doing it to each other because they're all spying on each other, which in some ways are understandable. If America's planning to invade Russia, for instance, it's understandable that Russia want to protect themselves from them. Think about that. So what do you want to happen with this? Do you want America to nuke Russia? Do you want to go to a war with Russia, like Hillary Clinton was saying? Because Trump doesn't want to go to war with them. And another thing is, this is more serious. You're claiming that somebody being friends with, Putin is worse than being enemies. Think about what you're actually saying there. Because I've seen these tweets all over the place. Oh my God, he's friends with Vladimir Putin. Oh my God, what are we going to do about that? Oh, it's terrible. Should we be enemies with Russia instead? Should we be, severe enemies with them where we want to go to war immediately? Is that better? Would you all like to be in a nuclear war with your skin hanging off your fucking bodies and say, well, at least we're not friends with Russia anymore? Fucking idiots. Think about what you're saying. There's nothing you can do about these Russian spies if they do exist, if it's not just fucking fake news. Even if it wasn't fake news, it's not solvable. The press can whinge all they want, but there are spies all over the place. We've known this for fucking years. There's always been spies in Russia. There's always been spies in Britain. Every single country is spying on each other. And as long as it's not pathological, where they are trying to invade another country, not necessarily trying to alter the elections, it's understandable that they would alter the elections of Trump and Hillary, because Clinton, let's call it Clinton. I hate using her first name because she's such a fucking bitch. It's understandable that they didn't want Hillary to get in because they don't want massive casualties in their country. Think about that. That makes them evil, does it? What's the point in all this propaganda? Is to change the consciousness of a human so they believe that we should be invading Russia as a good cause. But believe me, if you invade Russia, you go get fucking smacked down in your own country. Russia can fucking fight back. Think about what you're actually saying. They have their own nuclear weapons, allegedly. They have an air force which is very powerful, and it would be a fucking bloodbath. In fact, they showed recently a sonic plane. It was a very fast plane, like something that we see from America. One of those military planes that can go very, very fast. The specific specifications of the plane are absolutely amazing. It can avoid radar. It can fly below it. It can fly in space, more or less, and it can fly possibly faster than any plane in the USA at the moment, even their military planes. Something to think about. So if we invade Russia, we're going to get hit back on our own fucking countries. It's going to be a fucking nightmare, worse than the Cold War. And Russia, unlike these sand people, can fucking fight back. We could be in a lot of trouble very quickly. Okay, well, that's something I wanted to talk about, the Russian thing. I can't believe just how many posts she actually uses. Let me have a look here. Let me have a look. Oh yeah, poll says if referendum was run tomorrow, there would be no Brexit. So you are in support of a democratic vote being changed by the looks of it. Because through your linguistic skills, what you're actually doing is you are suggesting to these influential people that you have grown up with your books that Brexit is a bad thing. Yeah. And, we should go against the votes of the people. I'm not interested in changing my vote. I'm constantly pressured to actually do so because, people like you call people racist, which is exactly what you do in fascist. Let's see if we can actually get down to when... oh, yeah, here's the little, spat she had with Piers Morgan, which I did find very funny to somewhat. She's actually taking a piss out of him because she outsold him. I don't necessarily think that J.K. Rowling is a brilliant author. I think she's a good storyteller. I don't think she's a good author. But she's getting these book awards, etc., because people actually bought the book, which is understandable. If you've read Harry Potter, you'd know the downside of sucking up to the biggest bully in school is getting burnt alive. Yeah, well, yeah, and another thing about Harry Potter is it's fiction. Yeah, and we understand that standing up to bullies is actually bad, but then again, how is he actually standing up to a bully? Who has Trump, who you actually fucking hate, done wrong to yet? Who's he killed? Nobody. Let's keep going that down. I just want to find the particular post. Oh, here we go. Yes, watching Piers Morgan being told to fuck off on live TV is exactly as satisfying as I always imagined. Now, I somewhat understand this, because Piers Morgan's a bit of a dick. So, but when I watch the particular clip that you're going on about, he was just saying that we can't, get all the allow Muslims in or willy-nilly because it's very dangerous. And the guy was, telling them to fuck off and all this. And he was also saying things like, Trump hasn't invaded anybody yet, so there's nothing wrong with it. And you can't actually compare him to fucking Hitler. And, Jim Jeffries told him to fuck off because of it. Telling them to fucking shut up and fuck off just simply because they have a different political point of view than you is what they call fascism. It's dangerous talk. It's dangerous to shut somebody down just because they have a different opinion than you. So, somebody who's fascist is somebody who would actually say, fuck off. I don't mind people actually, telling people to do that, but in a debate on live TV where millions upon millions of people watch, it has a massive influence. So it is dangerous. Now, another thing I like to talk about involving this woman is she was offered so many refugees. Okay, somebody offered to buy plane tickets for 100 refugees to be housed in luxury homes that she owns. She doesn't have any refugees living with her, but she's very keen on virtual signaling every single day on Twitter about it. Of course, she never took them up. Of course, she has never answered to these. She just keeps on virtual signaling to every single fucker on, Twitter. So, it just goes to show you cannot trust somebody online 100%. Just because somebody wrote some good books that you like doesn't mean that they're necessarily a good person. And even in the wizarding world, the wizards knew, they had to keep the outsiders out because they were dangerous, because the witch trials, etc. So they made sure that muggles couldn't find their stuff, like in a Harry Potter series. She knows this to be true. But then again, the Harry Potter series, which is what all these snowflakes tend to base their lives on, is just fiction. And she tends to be a very good fiction writer, by the looks of it. That's all she ever fucking talks about. Anyway, I don't want this video to go on, too long because something might go wrong with it. I just wanted to get that out there. It's not a brilliant video, but it's something that I wanted to talk about and go through a little bit. It's not being exactly, scripted. It's just off my fucking head, and I've not exactly, investigated where all the posts have actually been made, but I wanted to explore her Twitter page with you guys and see what you guys actually think. The thing is, if you like what somebody does, it doesn't mean that you should agree with everything they fucking do. Okay? That's the thing you've got to remember. Anyway, thank you for watching and goodbye for now. See you later.